Alright, so today we're gonna learn how to make a low poly 3D weapon model. And it's gonna be a couple parts, this tutorial here. And, I'm not the smartest fella, so there's gonna be a few parts where I might hit the wrong button, that's all. But I'm not gonna go into every little keybind that Blender has to offer. I'm gonna do this the most straightforward way I can show you, because I had to watch a lot of tutorials, like 45-minute tutorials, to learn like the equivalent of placing a block in Minecraft. I'm like, oh, wait, what? No, we ain't doing that. We're getting right into it. We're making a low poly. We're gonna do a Glock today. Low poly Glock. Recoil. I'll put the hand animation in there too, because it's gonna be a first-person thing. And the second part, actually, we'll say the hand is the second part, so we can just do a 3D model. Then we're gonna do the arm, and then we're gonna do the third part, which is gonna be pixelating it. Now, of course, for that we need Blender, which I'm sure you know how to. Right here, just go download it here. And this is really all you'll need if you're just doing the model. But if we're going to start pixelating it, make it like a 2D, pixel art, we're gonna need this. Paint.net. You know what? Paint.net. It's free, and it is all I ever used. And I would consider donating, because they've come in clutch the past like I don't know, probably 8 years, 7 or 8 years. They've been helping me out a lot. So first thing we want to do is get us a Glock picture. And this is going to be our reference. We're going to use this one just because it has the ejection port on the side, and that just makes it a little bit easier to model. So we're going to save that wherever. So we'll just call it Glog. There we go. Alright. So, open Blender. You got your reference image. We may need a second one that's going to be the back of the gun, but we'll see. No, wrong button. We want to do a new general. All right. So you start with your cube. First thing you want to do is go to this little wrench icon over here. It's modifier properties. Go down here and click mirror. Now, this is what I mean by I don't necessarily know everything I'm doing. There's going to be like a little bit of goofing and gaffing. So now that's applied, we'll mess with that in a sec. Now while we're in object mode, this is important, you want to hit Shift A. It's going to pull up add. What we're going to do is add an image as a plane. We're going to go back to, what did I say, pictures, and it was under the G's, E, F, G, right there. Alright, over here, this is kind of how it's going to look. You got wireframe, you got whatever that is. This would be texture or whatever material you put on the item, and I'm not gonna lie, I don't know what this one does. But so object mode, we're gonna grab this, and grab is G. So anytime you want to kind of move something around, you hit G. Anytime you want to like add like another face and pull out a certain side of this, you would hit E, and that's extrude. So we're gonna hit G. Red line is our x-axis. We're gonna hit X, and so bind it to that. Now we can kind of see what we need to work with. Actually, no, I should have done. We'll pull it on this side. So we'll hit GX again, pull it on this side. We're going to hit S. S is our scale button. It's going to take the whole thing we select, and it's going to change the size of it. Alright. G on the X again, kind of get it as close as we can. Alright. Now we're about to get into the nitty gritty, one might say. So we're going to go up here, go to edit mode. And these are the ways you can select the shape. Right now we're in vertex, so it's going to let us pull on the corners here. This would be edge, and that'll let us pull on each individual edge. This is face. So, and we did a little mirror modifier. Well, we're going to have to find out which, it says x-axis, so I'm pretty sure, so we're going to turn on clipping. I forgot why, but I know you need it on. And, maybe we'll come back to that. But we're going to select this face and hit G. Then we're going to hit, see it pulls around, you bind it to an axis. Now it only moves on there, so that wasn't the one I wanted to do. So we're going to do this one. We're going to hit G on the X. There it is. Alright, so let's, we're going to go up here a little thing. We're going to just hide that for a sec. So we're going to select this face, the one that has the x-axis line going through it. We're going to hit G, so now we're pulling on it. and then if you hit X, it's going to bind it to that. You pull it out this way, you want to pull it in. So now we have this line through the middle. I know you can cut it, but this gives us the exact center, which makes it a little bit easier on us. And now, if we turn this back on, we have the center point. So everything we do on this side is going to be mirrored over here. So, anything we do, oh yeah, so, I guess technically we have to work on this side, but whatever. Okay, so for that ejection port, we're going to have to do something with that later. But it shouldn't matter because this is a low poly, so we're not going to mess with it. So we're going to rename this cube. We're going to call this the frame, because the slide and frame are going to be separate from when you animate it. So let's just get to work. We're going to hit G. If we hit E, it's going to add another face to this. You see there's a line coming through the center. But if you hit G, it's going to, oh, yeah, we'll hit it on the Z. G on the Z. Now it's just making it bigger. So we're gonna G on the Z, pull it down. Let's go over here. This is your little compass thingy. I don't know what you call it, but we make sure we still have the top face selected. We're gonna go here, side view, and hit G again on the Z axis. Pull it up to about there so we know it's level. Same thing. Select that bottom face. Go here, G on the Z. That looks about good. We're gonna go here again. Oh no, we don't want to be. See, I hit the Z axis. We want to be on the Y axis for this. Pull us out to about there. Excellent. That face. G on the Y. I feel like the glock is the simplest shape we could have done. Actually, no, we'll pull it out just a tad more, because I'm not making this whole beaver tail thing. We're going to play with it a little bit, but not to that extent. Now, for the grip, what we'll do is, we're going to select this little edge select. We're going to click here. We're going to hit Control R. And so bring up this little yellow line, wherever, right in the middle, I guess. If you click once, now you can adjust where this goes. So what we're going to do is kind of line it up right there. Because we got this little gentle slope. We're not worried about that. We're worried about right here where it goes kind of straight down. So that's going to be one part of the grip. We're going to do the same thing over here. We're going to Control R. It's going to put that line up. And we're probably going to put it right there. Alright. Now, this face is coming down. We're going to extrude it. This is because if we hit G and we're going to go Z, we're going to pull it down. It pulls the whole thing with it. But if we hit E, it just pulls that. So that's what we want. Actually, we'll probably pull it down to about here. So E, make sure you hit the Z axis. But I feel like it doesn't matter. We'll do it anyways just for practice. Alright. We're going to go to our edge select. Select just this back part. This right here. We're going to hit G on the Y because that's the line we're moving on. We're going to kind of pull it there. Then we're going to do the same thing over here. Go get to this view, G on the Y. Yeah, there we go. You kind of see working with. That means we can pull this forward a little bit. So we select this little crotch corner in here. We're going to hit G on the Y. Just pull it forward. Just matches the angle a little bit. Now because we're creating a new chunk of this, we're going to use E on that because we have to get this edge out here a little bit more. So we'll hit E and just pull it straight down. Alright, we're going to be a little bit more poly than I wanted to, but we ain't putting these finger groups. We're going to go right to here, and then we're going to do another one for that. So we'll hit E, Z, about there I would say. We'll select our edge. Go back to this view. I'm pretty sure there's a keybind for that, but I don't know it and I don't care. Yeah, you see that. Y, G on the Y. Then we can pull this down one more time, like that. Select our edge here. I think we'll pull this one in a little bit. Maybe right there. And this one. It does not matter how fat this thing is because we're going to change it. Don't worry about that. Pull that in a little bit there. Maybe we could pull it up too. So we'll grab it on the Z-axis a little bit like that. And we should be able to pull this out down a little bit, then G on the Y. Then want to line this up a little bit more. So grab that. Yeah, maybe I should have left it up there. I would pull it back up a little bit. There. That's good enough. I'm not worried about this corner. like I said, if you wanted to add that chunk in, what you would do is you would select this edge, Control R, get this line, and then now what you could do is pull this one up here and like leave this one here. We're not gonna do that because I don't care. All right, you know what? We'll concede. We'll fill that. Fill that. Fill that. That should fix our problem. If it doesn't, I'm be really annoyed. Yeah, trigger guard works. Shouldn't have to do this, dude. Blender is smarter than me. Everything we're doing right now is, I wouldn't say unnecessary. It makes it easier later on. Just kind of tedious. Is getting rid of shit you don't need. Yeah, alright, that worked. Alright, save that, because now we're going to go up here, go up to our object mode. We're going to hit Shift A, like we did before. We're going to go to Mesh. We're going to do Cube. That shit looks pretty big, so we're going to dial it back a little bit. Go to our glog. We're going to hit G on the Z, kind of line it up. We're going to keep hitting S. Maybe we'll pull it back a little bit so we could just see it better. G on the Z. S. Perfect, right there. Now we're gonna go to this wrench icon again for the cube. You want to make sure you select the. You know, we're gonna rename this right now too. We're gonna call it slide. So our slide is gonna be this new cube. We're gonna add a mirror modifier, and we're doing the same thing. So we're gonna turn on clipping. Go to edit mode. Select this face. We're gonna hit G on the X. We're gonna pull it in. Perfect. Now, object mode. We select the whole thing. We're just gonna try to line it up in the middle. So we're going to hit G on the X. And go to edit mode again. Oh, I guess it doesn't matter which side we look at. We got to take one of these faces. Alright, this is the correct face. Because one side's a mirrored face and one side's the actual face you can manipulate, and that'll cause problems. So I'm going to hit G on the X and pull it in until it's about the width. Go to object mode, select the whole thing. Now you can line it up a little bit better. You think it's a little off, we'll hit G on the Y. X, I meant X, G on the X. There, that looks pretty good. I think actually if you hit S, you hit scale on the X-axis, it just pulls it in. Perfect. It can overhang a little bit. If you plan on pixelating it, it'll does not matter. So since this is the side we have to fuck with now, we're gonna stay on this side. Even though I know last time we were on the other side, so we're gonna hit G on the Y because we're gonna pull this out. I probably should have went here. On the Y till it's pretty much at the end there. Then we're gonna select this face. G on the Y till it's pretty much at the end there. Now, since this all lines up, pretty much delete this. We don't need this anymore. So right click delete. So start with our frame because this is the first thing we worked on right here. When you are in object mode, if you do this in edit mode, it won't work. It doesn't matter if you select the whole thing or whatever. You go here, drop down arrow, apply does not work. You have to go to object mode, select which one you want. So we're gonna do frame, drop down arrow right here, apply. Now this no longer has a mirror modifier put on it. This is just one whole object. Go to our slide. You can see a little blue wrench up here. That means it hasn't been applied yet. Drop down arrow, apply. Now, these are two separate objects. When you grab the slide, you hit G on the Z or whatever, you pull it. Now, we get to the artistic part, or UV editing. You get this little thing here. Don't know what the fuck that's about. Shit, wrong button. Object mode. We'll do the frame. We'll do edit mode. Shift A. Nah, it's okay, it's just A. So you just hit A while you're in edit mode. Select all. Now it selects the grip. Or the frame, whatever we want to call it. So you have this whole abomination over here. You want to make sure you're in UV mode. So we're in UV editing, like this is what we usually are in. The UV editing, we have whatever this is. This is what we're gonna do. With this selected, you hit U, and you have these options. We're gonna go to Smart UV Project or Project. I think it's Project. I have never messed with this, never made a change, so we're just gonna leave it. Hit whoa, what is that? That is our entire gun unwrapped for us, and pretty much what we're going to do now is put a picture on that. So we can hit, I believe it is UV here. Export UV layout. This I would just call glock frame. PNG or we just call it glock frame. We're gonna export that. Now, the object mode, select the slide. Go to edit mode. Or we're on the slide over here. Hit A, select all toggle. U, smart UV project. Okay, look at that right there. Everything for us. We're gonna go to our UV, export UV out, glock slide, export. Perfect. Alright, now that we got that, we can minimize Blender because we're gonna have some fun now. Don't need this. We're gonna open our little trusty paint.net, which we downloaded earlier, I hope. Open whatever, where do we save that? Blender saves, I believe. Yeah, here we go. Alright, so wherever it exports to, that's what you're gonna do. So here's our glock frame. I have no idea which side's which. I mean, it's easy with this, but when it gets to the slides we're gonna have some problems because we're gonna have to find out which side's which. So we're gonna go up here, go to layers. We're gonna import from file, wherever that Glock picture I used was. What was it? I think it started with a G, right? Yeah, Glock. All right, perfect. It's not bigger. Sometimes it imports an image. Here, we'll layers import file. It'll do something like this. I think this one's pretty huge. Yeah, see, it resizes the whole thing. What you'd have to do is go to image, canvas size. You don't want to do resize. I'm gonna go 1024. I think that's what it is by default, by 1024. It clips it back down to what it was, but let's just Alright, so this is our glog right here, our background. So you're gonna drag that down behind here so you kind of see what's going on. Way we're gonna do this, you gotta give me a sec. Alright, let's disable our background, or if you double click you could just retitle it if you want. You call it your UV or whatever, it don't matter, it's entirely up to you. We're gonna use this little tool right here, the magic wand. Probably the most important thing we're gonna use. It saves a hell of a time. You're gonna click this white space here. Whoops, we still selected UV. You wanna go to your it doesn't matter if you check this or uncheck. Even if you uncheck it, you can still select it if it's selected like that. So you want to go glock, make sure you select the white space. Now we have a little problem up here. It doesn't matter because we're not working with the slide right now. So this is anything in this space we can erase. So we want to turn our hardness up all the way, our spacing down, anti-aliasing this shit, and just crank this eraser up. That. And then you hit escape to disable it. We're gonna do the magic wand again in here and erase that. Now, we only have the Glock and the alpha layer. You'd see up here, it erased some of that. That does not matter because we're going to take our rectangle select and cut off a slide right there. Perfect. Oh. Alright, so we'll stay here. Mount yay big, because I'm pretty sure after you complete the selection, it'll cut it off if it's outside where it's supposed to be. So pretty much, oh, this is gonna be kind of annoying. Like, yeah. So what you want to do is make sure we might have to do this in a few parts. Like we're gonna have to cut this, move the whole thing down, which yeah, we'll do that right now. Pull that out here. I don't think this is a real Glock. This is like a airsoft Glock. I don't think they have screws right there. Pull that down. Look at that. Look at the way that lines up. You ever see anything like that? So we're into a little issue here. Any of this space that is left empty inside the outline is gonna be invisible. Actually, I think it's like black, but it'll be essentially invisible because it'll be covered by the alpha layer. So we're gonna have to fill that in. Oh shit. way this lines up does not matter, because it is not an HD model. So yeah, pretty much you want it to come out past the lines, and I'll show you how to fix that. Like this little notch right here, we're gonna do something about that. We can move our selection a little bit too. Pull this over maybe a tad. Just a little bit of room to breathe. There we go. It's a little bit better. So what I think we'll do is we'll go over here, add a layer, bring that below. You want it below always. Turn our size down to about 50. And I think we got a nice color right here. Is dark color. Fuck. See. Go to your eyedropper tool, select Glock. Go right in here. Now we can go to our paintbrush, select layer 3, and we can just trace around the edge of this. So this means any of the parts that we miss will be covered with this material. This will be like our wood filler, essentially. You know, we might as well do it over here too, just to be safe. Alright, Glock, duplicate, Glock 2, layers, flip horizontal. We're going to pull that whole thing down to about there. Kind of try to line it up as best you can. I think that's how it works on that side. Just remember, if this is like most first-person shooters, you're only going to see the left side of the gun, so it's better for the left side to be over top in this instance. So, there's a few ways to save in this, and we're going to have to do it. This one's going to be under paint.net. This will be a PDN image. This is, I like to title them what the images I'm editing is. You can see up here I've done it, UV PDN. So I know this has the UV outline in it, and I know it's a paint.net image, so it'll have all the layers. If you save it as a different image file, it will not have all the layers, and it'll just compress it, and this will be the picture you get. So we save that. Then what we're going to do is we could just, this whole part's done, so we're going to take this top one. Doesn't matter which way you have this, really. I think the left side should be on top. So we're going to take this, is going to be a merge down. Now, this is one whole piece. We move this. It's going to do that. Now, with all this shit, you will not see this. You can see this is the side you're going to see. This is all the underneath bullshit. What we're going to do is we're going to duplicate this. So hit that button. Oh, it's garbage right here. Move the whole thing. Find a nice piece we like right in there. How about that? Drag that out. That's going to be our little working piece. Now we got to erase the rest of this right there. We're erasing garbage. You don't want to erase Glock. That's have a little problem there if we did something like that. So now, take this piece. Yeah, we should probably select it like this. Make it a little bit easier to work with. Look at that. Ever see something like that before? So now, pretty much anything we wrong way. There we go. That's what I wanted. Anything we don't see is going to be this color. We're going to put it underneath everything because no, you don't want this. Merge down, perfect. Merge down. Look at that. So, I guess in here you might have a little, actually no, undo that. Turn this on. I think maybe we put this underneath. Yeah, we'll put that underneath for this, this instance. Alright, so we're going to save. Now it's important that you do this. You go over here, you uncheck that shit. File, save as. You don't want to just save. You're going to go under here, go to your PNG. And now, we can call this the Glock frame skin. we're gonna take our brush right here. We're gonna go. This is a very back and forth thing. Let's get a color. We're gonna add a new layer, and we're gonna find out which side of these slides is the right side and which side's the left. So we'll do R for, and we'll do L. Save that as our little UV PDN. Alright, now what we're gonna have to do is we're gonna have to disable our background. So now you can't see the background, but it's there. So we're gonna save as PNG, lock slide, skin. Alright, flatten doesn't matter because we're gonna open it back up here in our UVP. This is what we're gonna be messing with. Right now we are testing which side is the right side and which side is the left side. So we're gonna go into Blender, back to our object mode. With our slide selected right here, we're gonna go here, this little material properties, the second circle down, hit new. Now you get all this bullshit, don't worry about it, it's nothing. You go to your base color, you select the yellow dot. You go to image texture. Now it's gonna pop up with this. You're gonna hit open. We are looking for the glock slide skin PNG. Now, see how nothing happened? It's because I have the wrong thing selected up here. So, you want to make sure you have this mode selected in the viewport shading. So now we can see which side's the left side. I was right by some stroke of luck. But, you see the marking is down there at the front of the slide for the right side, and the marking's back here on the front of the slide for the left side, or the back of the slide for the left side. Alright, so we can just save if you want, makes no difference. Go back here to our one that we can manipulate. We have to, check. All right, the right side we're gonna see. So the R is gonna be the front. The R is gonna be the front with the. All right, so we can delete this. We can kind of tell like this is the top right here. This is the front. So we need our right side. I'm gonna grab that. I forgot we can delete left too. We don't need that. We can, that's just our side. So our right side, we're gonna duplicate this layer. Pull this out here. Make sure it stays lined up. Layers, flip, vertical. Perfect. Look at that. Unlike anything you've ever seen before. Make sure it's. So this means that our teeth should be on the back. This will be a chunk of this shit like we did before. Pull it out. There. Now we can erase this. Don't need it. We'll pull it down below everything just so it's not messing with stuff. Make it bigger than everything. Oh yeah, this thing's gonna need to get wide. Perfect, right in there, yeah, right in the pocket. Get in the pocket, run it up the gut. We can save that. Perfect. We can now save as, we're gonna do our PNG glock slide skin. We can overwrite that, we don't need that RL anymore. Yes, it's gonna ask us to flatten, of course. Save. Alright, we can hit exit on that. Okay, good. So we're done with paint.net. So we're gonna, it should still pop up. You go to slide, you go to your material here. If you wanted to, here, we'll do it again. You go new, base color here. Uh-oh. Yeah, good, I messed it up. Now I gotta retry. New there, base color, image texture, open, glock slide skin. So the only difference is yours wouldn't have this if you did it properly. What you could do too is find out which part of the slide was the top part and you would lay the ejection port over the top. I do not care whatsoever. Oh, there's a part missing in there. Oh well. I guess I missed a part. I'm not going back and fixing that. So now we're doing the same thing here with our frame. You're going to go to your Down here to your material properties, new, base color, image texture, open, glock, frame skin. There, now you have this sexy ass Glock. Look at that, bro. They don't even make them like that at the market. Like, you could find that, you put the backplate on here too and shit. Alright, so now we gotta do the hand, which will be our first person thing. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go back in our layout, object mode, of course, Shift A, mesh, cube. Look at that beast right there. Alright, we're gonna scale that guy down. We're gonna drag it back here on a little y-axis. It should be about good. I don't know how big a hand is. So pretty much just there we go. Try to shape it out. What I like to do, get it right up. I'm gonna hit G on the Z and pull that top down a little bit. And now here's how I break it up. I hit Control R. We're gonna do our. We're pretty much making a Rubik's cube here. We're gonna add these cuts right there. Perfect. Look at that. Now we have the extension for the thumb, pointer finger, and the rest of the hand. That's essentially what we're doing. Go up here and click this toggle X-ray. This allows you to select the whole thing. It selects all the back faces. We're going to G on the Y. Pull this up kind of snug. We can turn that off now. That just makes it a little bit easier for what we're doing. We're going to drag this down. Maybe we'll pull this out. We'll hit E. Wherever a thumb goes. That ain't too bad. Maybe we'll drag this out on the X a tad. All we're really doing is shaping out the hand. Alright, now what we're gonna do, because don't think we need any of these, select those, we'll hit delete vertices. We have this gaping hole, you could say. Yeah, we'll fill these in. Shift select all of these. If you hold Alt, left Alt and click, it'll select it in a circle. Doesn't always work. You know, hit F, fill it in. And then we have the wrist. We hit E, drag that out. We're gonna have to tighten this wrist up a little bit. So we're gonna select that little ring right there, hit S, scale it down a little bit. That helps. Gonna deselect so we can see it better. Wrong one. There. X-ray select. Oh, X-ray select. You can also hit A and select all toggle. Doesn't matter. Go back to our UV. Hit U. Smart UV project. Okay. Look at that, perfect. Our parts there. Then we're gonna go to our export UV layout. What is called glock arm, because I already have an arm. UV. Enter. Export that nasty business. So, like before, we're gonna put our skin underneath this. What I did with my other one was perfect. Look at that. Layers, import from file. right there. So now we can kind of pull this behind. Honestly, with this, you know what we'll do? Nah, you can't do it on this one. Never mind. Perfect. Stretch it out like that. Save as our PDN or UV PDN. That way we get no mix-ups. That'll be our paint.net file. Then you can disable the background file, save as. This will be our PNG. And glock arm skin. God damn it. There we go. Perfect. Flatten it. Close this. We can open back up Blender. Go to our material properties. New. So that's the little yellow dot. Image texture. Now it turns black. We'll open. Glock arm skin. Look at that. It looks pretty gross actually. Yeah, but now we can start animating this thing. So we'll go to our layout up here. Yeah, that looks atrocious texture wise. I'm not too thrilled about how that came out. Alright. So now we're gonna save that. So we're gonna hit I. We're gonna start at frame 1. You know what? Before we do it, let's go to it. Let's make this. I think it's 7 frames. What I did before. Depends on the gun. You know. We'll do 7. We're gonna hit I. We're gonna do location rotation. About 4. We're gonna hit G. And we're gonna hit Y. So we're gonna grab this on the Y axis. Pull us about here. I'm doing it there because the ejection port lines up with the mag, like you know how a gun does properly. Hit I, location rotation, and then at 7, hit G. Oh, on the G on the Y. You know, make sure you bind it to that. Measuring almost all the way there. Location rotation. Now you hit space. You got this animation. So you hit I, adjust it. You know. Perfect. Alright. Now we gotta select both of these. Right, okay. We're gonna hit I, location rotation. Now perfect about 4 again, because that's the furthest back the recoil is gonna be. We're gonna hit R on the X. I'm gonna rotate that sucker up about however much recoil you think a 9mm has. Location rotation. Now you can see our little rotation here on the x-axis at 15 degrees. It's important you go back here, it's at 0. So pretty much at 7, it's going to be just before. Oh, okay, see, they got this shit's annoying how they get disconnected. So we're gonna have to do each one individually. So let's just select 7. We'll go to 0. We're select on the frame. Hit enter. Mess that up. 0, enter. Now we hit I for location rotation. There we go. But now the slide's doing something a little wild. I could not tell you why. Oh, you know what it is? It's because the location of the frame. The frame got messed up. So we have to find out what our location here is. So we're gonna have to copy this number. Control C, go all the way out here to 7. Control V, enter. What the hell, dog? Oh, it's Z. That's why. So our Z is supposed to be at 0. That was my bad. There we go. I, location rotation. See, it's a little bit of problem solving. Look at that thing. That thing's rumbling in there. You like that? Alright, so now we got that done. We're going to save that. Now to do the arm, we're going to have to add a skeleton. Let's go to layout. Good object mode, perfect. We could disable our frame and slide. We don't need that. Shift A, armature, single bone, perfect. Edit mode, E. Alright, now we know which way we're going. I'm going to hit R on the X, G on the Z, G on the Y. We're just straightening it out because I'm a fool. That's all. What we're doing is we are lining this up with the shape of the arm. Honestly, put it in wireframe, it's probably better. So we'll drag this whole thing inside the arm. Okay, maybe not yet, because it's not see-through. I don't know why. Pull it about the crotch of the hand there. This will be the wrist. Now we're going to hit E again. We're going to make the thumb right here. Perfect. We're going to pull this over a tad, I think. Hit E again. This will be our pointer finger. And then we'll have another one for the hand. Alright, now this whole thing right here. Pull this back. Alright, let's see if I can remember how to do this. So you're going to hit Control P with automatic weights. Now the skeleton is bound to this. Because I'm an idiot, so this is what I'll do. Get it here. I don't know why it's giving me a problem this time, but like I said, I don't actually know what I'm doing. We're going to leave the wrist part out because that's the most important part right here is the wrist and this one. Honestly, we probably don't even need these ones, so I wouldn't worry about them too much, but whatever. Object mode, select your arm, shift, select armature. Might actually be the other way around. Yeah, so we'll select the armature and then shift select arm. What? There we go. Control P with automatic weights. There. Now if we go to pose mode, we should be able to. Perfect. Should be. No, we'll stay in pose mode. We'll go to our animation. So that frame. Alright, so we're gonna have to do something about this. It starts at 1. Alright, so let's drag this back. So there we go. Just hit I, so this is a location rotation before you edit anything. That way this is like the back to rest position. I'm going to go to our 4 because that's like the apex. I think if we grab this knob, G on the Z. No, we're not going to do that. G on the Z with that. Oh, what the hell? G on the Z. X. Alright, select the whole thing. You know what we can do? R on the X. And G on the Z. I location rotate. Oh, you boner. Right there. I don't know why I didn't save the location rotation. Go to 4. I'll rotate it on the X, pull it down. What the hell? Alright, I'm gonna pull it up here. R on the X. There. I location rotation. And there, pretty much you go. It's supposed to be, it's being kind of weird. It might be because I'm not using this. Ugh. Hey, R on the X? Oh, there it is. Alright, so we'll do location rotation, scroll out to here. R on the X, that's what we should have been doing. This is the main one. There, now it's more in the wrist than the whole fucking arm. little more fluid. Wow, that's stupid. I don't know how I got moved out to the side. Pull that over where it's supposed to be. It's the X location. 0. Why does it do that? That's weird. Alright, so for whatever reason I made it move on the x-axis a little bit when I shouldn't have. That's what we're stuck with. But now we have that. We can go back to object mode. We hit that play, wherever that is, down here. It'd be nicer if you didn't have to see the armature, but that's our animation right there. So now to export the animation, what we're gonna go here is no, not render. Fuck, I'm an idiot. Let's go to our layout. We're gonna have to insert a camera. So we're in object mode, Shift A, camera. I'm gonna rotate that on the X a little bit, wherever the where's the fucking parameters for that? There, 90. Perfect. G on the Y, G on the Z, and we're gonna use this button over here underneath this compassy looking thing. If you hit the camera, you can kind of see the angle you're gonna be looking at. So I'm gonna pull out of that. We're gonna hit G on the Z, pull it up a little bit more, and we're just gonna keep adjusting this till it feels like we're in a first-person video game. Can I actually hide? The armature? There. Okay, that helps a little bit. Printer printing a picture output properties. This is very important. If you're doing, if you're pixelating it and making it like a flat 2D Doom style thing, you have to export it as a PNG. If you're not, you do it as an FFmpeg. If you want to do it as a physical animation, I know you can export it as your 3D model to the FBX. I don't know anything about that stuff. That's none of my business. So for what we're doing here, we're gonna export it as a PNG. All right, render. We're gonna render animation. So that looks a little cut off there. We're gonna check it now. Alright, that is our rendered animation. We are done with Blender completely. Open our paint.net. Go to our Windows, wherever it was exported to. Mine default exports to this fucking shaboing boing. So we'll just open all those. You select them all like that. This part gets kind of annoying. This is just tedious back and forth and back and forth. We're going to select our magic wand. Select this gray area. Our tolerance is too high, so we're going to dial that back until perfect. Now only the background selected, so we can go to our eraser. Make this thing fucking massive. Perfect. 1000. Hardness all the way up. Spacing down. No smoothing, none of this. We want it hard, just pixelated erasing. Go here. S4 times is the hotkey for the magic wand. E is hotkey for eraser. So we're just doing this. Get rid of all that. And you notice in Blender, we didn't put any fucking lights in. So we can save all this. And there's a reason for that, because this has curve adjustment, which helps. Yeah, you can see on this one, cut out the thumb a little bit back here too, and on the knuckles. Not worried about it. We're just saving all these right now, because this is for demonstration purposes only. Yours, you might want to, be a little bit more detailed. But, alright, let's go to our luminosity up here in adjustments. And we're just going to brighten it up a little bit. Might be too much. We're just adjusting the color. This, that ain't something you have to do. Actually, okay, so we gotta adjust it a little bit. There, made it a little bit brighter. Effects, hue and saturation. Let's saturate the color. Yeah, there we go. Okay, perfect. And then what you can do here, if you go to your, you gotta hit escape, because the background, you see the dotted lines on it, all that shit's still selected, and it's not gonna adjust the picture. Alright, so if you go here, go to your adjustments, curves, it saves what it was last there, so you can go here also and hit OK, and it's automatically gonna do it for you. It tells you a hotkey up there. Not doing it, I'm quicker than the computer. We're just running through each one of these. So you imagine the more frames you have, the more tedious and annoying it gets, but I think it's worth it. There's other pixel animation websites and shit, but I think for like 2D side scrollers, that's the way to go. But for doing this, you gotta get the 3D model in there. I'm sure there's probably better ways. Now, for the last part, this is it. We're gonna go to our distort under effects, go to pixelate. You have to make this nearest neighbor, because if you don't, you do it like these other ones, it tries to smooth it and it becomes blurry around the edges. Make sure these are nearest neighbor. Adjust your cell size to where you want it. I typically do 9, so let's see what 9 looks like. It cuts out the sights a little bit. So maybe for this one we made it a little bit smaller. Yeah, it's way too big. Like 8. 8 works for this one, so we'll hit OK. And just, what is it? Repeat. Alright, so that's just Control F to repeat what you did last. Under effects only, if you do the adjustments, it won't do that. But yeah, you go up here, it just says repeat. So you can just hit Control F on all those. And now we're done with that.